Hello everybody, I'm going to tie the cap spider jig. You can use that for fly fishing with your fly rod, or you can use it on a regular spinning rod or whatever. If you use it with a spinning rod, you won't fish it, have you a split shot maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 feet above where the jig ties on. Make it a little bit easier. The key to this thing is when you cast it in, it's going to have a slow sink rate. And what I'm using today is a 1/24 ounce number 10 hook, jig hook. See if I can get that on the camera. A 1/124 ounce jig head. It's small, so it might take me a minute to do it. I already got it in my vise, and I'm going to use this Danville's 210. This is an olive color, and I'm just going to start it off right here. Put me one layer down, go to about the bend of the hook, run it back up to the front, snip off the tag. This was the jig that I tied for the Kisatchie Fly Fishers Club a month or 2 ago. And then I'm using some Ultra Chenille olive. That olive's a good color, and you don't want to go all the way to the head right here. If you can see that, you won't come back just a little bit past that, because we're going to tie in some silly legs right there. Lay it down and start the wraps on it again. Take it back to about where you bend the hook was, and then work your thread back to the front. Right here, it don't really matter. Go all the way to the head if you want. And then I'm gonna move that thread out of the way. I'm gonna use my rotary vise, and I'm just gonna nice and slow. Usually I like to do it by hand. I got this camera right in the way, so I'll just roll it. It don't really matter. Move that thing out of the way. Not used to having a camera this close, using this GoPro. It's probably a little closer than it needs to be. That's all I got. Run this up. It's a pretty quick jig to tie. Snip that off, and then I'm gonna get me a little base right there on it. Make sure it looks good. Alright, at this point, you just want to take it and flip it over, and then I'm going to tie in some silly legs. The silly legs I'm using pearl silver is the color. And I pulled off one piece. What I do to it is I just take it, I put them two together, come down and cut it, and then try to keep these two ends together, if you can see that. And then I'm going to take that and loop it back, cut it one more time, and what you'll end up with is four pieces of the silly leg. And all I do is I just take them and I just wad them up, so you got this flipped over. I originally started tying like this. Rotate it or take the hook out of the vise, whatever vise you got. I may not be able to do this with this camera. And then I'm going to take it and do me a loose figure 8, and then real loose. You don't want to put no pressure on this. you basically just got 2 wraps is all you got on the weight of the bobbin. And I'm gonna feed me out a little slack. These legs, when you got them like this, they funny acting. See if I can do this without. This is the part that usually takes me a few minutes to do. At first one, you want to do it loose, and then you got to look to the side and see if it looks straight or not. Sometimes it's pretty aggravating. And normally I don't put but about three little wraps on it. That's all I do. See, if you pull on it like that, all your legs are gonna roll to one side. So if you do that, you can hold your hook, put your thumb on your jig head. See how it does that? You don't want it to do that. It's a pain. So what I do is I just crimp it and hold it, and I pull that kind of tight, and then of course got that camera right in my way. I should have just used a regular camera or the phone or something. Would have been a little bit easier. See, I done hit that camera about 3 times. So you just want to look at them, and you just basically gonna try to get them as straight as you can. They ain't gonna look pretty. Just gonna get it as well as you can, and then you want to do a whip finish on it. I usually don't go but 4 or 5 times, and then when I take this whip finisher off, I do it on the bottom of the head right there, and then hold your hook head and just kind of give it a little bind, and then you can always readjust them legs just a little bit. They ain't gonna be pretty. Sometimes they turn out perfect, sometimes they look crooked, but if you're looking at anything in nature, I don't think they look perfect every time. You don't want them, I don't think you want them to look pretty, perfect. So, I don't know, maybe the fish know. If it looks perfect, maybe the fish know. I don't know. I've caught a lot of fish on this thing, on that fly rod, when I started doing this. They said that guy Michael Verdine, I don't know how you say his name, but this was something he kind of come up with. A guy told me about it at the Kisatchie fly fishing meeting a couple years ago. I learned how to tie it, and I've been tying it ever since. And I like it because when you throw it in there, it goes down slow, and then when you fish it, you just want to reel in as slow as you can with this thing. You don't want to just jerk it on in. You want to go slow with it. Nice and slow retrieve rate on it. You go too fast, it ain't gonna work. It's not gonna be effective. Let me turn this around, see if y'all can see it. Get a full idea of it, because when you end up with them, you should have about 4 legs on each side, 4 on the other. If y'all can see that. Probably shouldn't have done that. It looks good though. Think it'll fish. Alright, that's it for now. Thank you.